High speed, high horsepower, high need for maintenance. This is the story of Mark's Modern Electric, an engine plagued with problems, yet universally adored by rail fans. It's the HHP-8 coming right up on this episode of Engines of MARC. Real quick before we get started, we just hit 200 subscribers. Thank you so much to everyone who subscribed. This story begins in the same place as those of a lot of other contemporary passenger equipment. That's right, it's Amtrak. In the early 90s, Amtrak had been testing out a lot of European high-speed train sets because they wanted to build their own high-speed train service in the Northeast Corridor. After years of negotiation, Amtrak came to a deal with Bombardier and Alstom to construct a new high-speed train called the American Flyer. Under the American Flyer contract, not only would specialized high-speed train sets be delivered to Amtrak, but individual locomotives based off the train set's design would be delivered to both Amtrak and MARC. However, the American Flyer contract and branding was renamed to the Acela, which is a combination of the words acceleration and excellence. Both the Acela train sets and the HHP-8 would be delivered under this high-speed rail concept. MARC received 6 HHP-8 or High Horsepower 8, referring to 8,000 horsepower locomotives in between 2001 and 2002. The locomotives were numbered 4910 through 4915, and they were ordered to run on MARC's sole electrified line, the Penn Line between Washington, D.C., Baltimore, and Perryville, Maryland. Once it was delivered, though, it would become quickly apparent that the HHP-8 was full of all sorts of mechanical and software issues. Here's a quick rundown. The computers malfunctioned in extreme weather, couldn't handle power surges from the overhead wire, and required constant software upgrades throughout their lifetime. All HHP-8s had to be temporarily taken out of service due to cracks in the truck frame. The units frequently encountered wheel slip when accelerating in even slightly unsavory conditions, and not to mention how Bombardier was less than willing to help with spare parts, and even though the Acela and HHP-8 look similar, there's actually very few parts interchangeable. In total, the HHP-8 would have to go maintenance an average of every 12 days. Amtrak became so fed up with these issues that all HHP-8s were retired within 15 years and replaced with the ACS-64. What about on MARC's end? Well, MARC never sought an electric replacement to these locomotives. In fact, the hippos, as they are often called by rail fans, are still in service to this day. It seems like MARC has been able to bear all the high operating costs, but with the HHP-8's problems only getting worse with age, I wonder how long it'll be until the MTA cracks and finally decides to retire them all for good. It sure came close in 2017 whenever MARC retired their AEM-7s, leaving the HHP-8s as the last electric locomotives to run on MARC. MARC was planning to replace the HHP-8s altogether with their brand new Siemens Charger high-speed diesels. Even though MARC did acquire 8 Chargers, they decided to give the HHP-8s another chance and put all 6 under refurbishment in 2017. The refurbishments helped, but not for long. In 2020, all of MARC's HHP-8s disappeared for a variety of mechanical problems. As of October 2021, the hippos are back on the rails, but it doesn't mean all of them are in service at the same time. It seems like almost every week you hear about another one breaking down. So with all the HHP-8's problems, why do rail fans like them so much? Well, with all the boring diesel MP36s pulling trains on the Penn Line, they're a rarity to see. You're most likely to find a hippo pulling a rush hour express train. Not only that, but because the new Chargers are only limited to 90 miles per hour, the HHP-8s are the only thing keeping MARC at 125 miles per hour, or the fastest commuter rail system in North America. And, by the way, how did the HHP-8 story end for Amtrak? Well, by the time the ACS-64s went into service in 2014, the HHP-8s were off the high iron. Currently, all Amtrak hippos are being kept at their maintenance facility in Bear, Delaware, and their future is uncertain. The same can be said for the HHP-8s on MARC, though, as the cost of keeping them running rises exponentially. Us MARC rail fans have got to enjoy them while they're still around, and that we do. Sounds to hear when I'm out hippo hunting on a cool weekday evening is the sound of the HHP-8's signature hybrid K5LA. I would like to give an enormous shout out to Maryland Railfan on Instagram and YouTube for providing all of the HHP-8 clips that you see in this video. You gotta go show him some support for that one. If you like this video, well, make sure to leave a like, and also consider subscribing if you haven't already. Also, hop on over to my Instagram and drop a follow. I'm really close to 200 on there too. Before we go though, leave a comment and tell me what kind of MARC locomotive do you want to see next, or what kind of video do you want to see next. That's all for today. I'll see you in the next one.